What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the red color, playing as Set. His name is Joe. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapple. The map, Blue Lagoon. This is a best of 3 for the Champions League group stages. Winner of this one, eternal glory is granted. This matchup actually matters. This one matters quite a bit. If Rapple wins this game, he will secure top of his division. That might be spoilers, that might not be spoilers. He will secure top of his division. What does that mean? Well, basically, it doesn't matter if he loses the other matchup, just based on the head-to-head rules and everything like that. If he wins this game, he is good to go. If Joe wins this game, however, then things get interesting in the head-to-head, because Joe here would have to win every other game in this group, which he's still got quite a few to play, to get top of the division. He has to win them all and win them all decisively in 2-0 fashion. Very exciting. I can't wait to see how this thing is going. We do see that Joe has started out. I love this. He started out with the villager over here. I don't particularly like him taking the villager off the gold here to build the house. I much prefer to see that happen with the villager on the food here, because you don't need more food, whereas you do need more gold to get the temples, to get everything else. But we'll see what Joe's going to be going for here. Now, Joe, at the very least here, he has adapted his builds. He's currently scouting around, trying to find some stuff. He has found himself an elephant in the middle of the map here. That's going to be huge for him early. The big question is Joe going to go for Anubis here, or is he going to go for Ptah here for some cheese, or maybe even some standard play with Set? Set's got so many different tactics to use in this matchup. So much poison to utilize against Odin. And the big question is, what sort of attack is he going to be going for? So we do see the temple coming up over here right away, and it looks to me like Joe, he's going for a very fast advance time. Whether he's going for a 4-minute, it looks like a 4:02 here, if I had to guess, as the villagers will finish up on the giraffe. I love that he is not splitting up his villagers like we see a whole bunch of other Egyptian players doing. He's taking full advantage of this pharaoh early, 10 villagers on the giraffe. Yeah, he's going to have to move those villagers over onto the gold mine. He probably could have had a couple less villagers on food here, actually, and send them over to the gold a little bit earlier. But nonetheless, he will be able to advance here if he so chooses. He's going up through Ptah here very, very fast. Villagers moving over onto the hunt, over onto this side. And we'll see if Joe decides to go for a classical fight here, or if he decides to go for a cheese with the early priests. And a shifting sands, or if he's going for anything else. Meanwhile, Rapple, on the other hand, house is going up over here. Temple starting to build some Herso on this location, as the villagers eating all of the hunt left over here as well. And if we take a look here, we do see that Joe is deciding to get himself hands of the pharaoh really early here. So it looks to me like Joe is indeed going for some sort of a shifting sands play early. We'll see if it works. It's very, very potent. It's very dangerous. Rapple, he basically needs to have units in position to defend straight away. We see the Ulfsarks scouting around. He's got himself out 1 Herso. He'll have himself 2 Herso out, as a priest going to be coming through here straight away. And Joe is going to be ready to go here immediately as he hits the classical age. Pharaoh getting into position. Elephant getting into position. We will be seeing the vision getting cast straight away as the unit's sitting over here ready. And we will be seeing the villagers getting targeted down immediately. 1 villager down. 1 Ulfsark getting targeted down there as well. As the Ulfsark gets taken out. The Herso are going to be getting taken out as well, as Rapple's not controlling that one at all, trying to make a break for the tower here, and doesn't lose it. He jumps into the tower nicely there as the villagers get pulled back into the main town center here, as Joe is going to be scouting around here. He's got so much strength here with these units to put so much pressure onto Rapple early here, as the dwarves now also going to have to pull back. He's got enough resources here to get himself watchtowers if he needs, but there's no help here on this position to defend this one. if Joe decides to stay in here. Now, the question is, what does Joe go for after this? He's picked off 2 villages here, I think. 2 villages and an Ulfsark and almost a Herser. Does he go for a town center now? It looks like he's going for a town center because he's still got 10 villages on gold. He can also take all these villages off of gold tier if he hits 500, put them over onto pigs or berries or move them onto a hunt and go to the heroic age. He isn't throwing an armory down, so it looks to me like we will indeed see a second town center. If this is the case, Joe really needs to consider just simply moving his pharaoh back to empower the town center. Now, this town center over here does have some decent hunt on it back here as well. We are seeing the Valkyrie going to be going for a cheeky little fight over here as Joe chucks down the armory on this position. Rapple in a little bit of a difficult position here as his Valkyrie is going to be getting taken out as the priest getting closer and closer to falling here. Will it go down or not? 1 HP remaining as Rapple here. He's sitting over on this town center. He needs to start thinking about that here as the villagers back over onto this location. We do see the priest is stealing away this elephant. Very sneaky by Joe. Love that play there as the unit's starting to make their way over onto this position. But the pharaoh is in here. A couple of hyena and the Wadjet going to be more than enough to defend this one here, as well as the raiding cavalry say, all right, no worries. Not going to take too much damage. And he will pull back. Apparently it was just 1 villager. I thought he got 2. Maybe he got 1 villager and an Ulfsark only. Not sure. Anyways, Relic has been picked up here by Joe as well for his Wadjet Eye. Minus 10% myth unit food, wood, gold cost. Second town center up 6 minutes, 35 seconds into the game. Rapple able to start moving over here. Is he? He doesn't know. He didn't see the elephant getting converted here. He's eating the gazelle. If he eats this gazelle fast enough, he might still be able to eat that elephant before it gets converted. But this is going to be really close because it takes 70 seconds to convert an elephant. It's a long time as the gazelle... Oh, and he just misses it. The elephant gets pulled back. Rapple's going to be like, where's my elephant? My elephant's not here anymore. It's gone. It's gone from underneath his nose. He's going to be moving over here to eat the hyena, it seems. He does have some hunt on the front here. He's got some hunt over here as well. Joe, at this point, does he even need to put down a barracks? Answer, no. He's going most likely for the heroic age here. He does have a whole bunch of villages on wood. Means he wants to get himself an early armory. He is going to be able to eat the elephant that he's sending back home as well. So he doesn't even need to be out on the map. Plenty of hunt on this location here. Joe does have his monument up over here as well. Wouldn't mind seeing a second monument here as well. But now Rapple's got himself the second town center. He's got his elephant over here that he can eat. Trying to drag that one in nice and close to the town centers. The hearse are going to come over here and try and deal with this. But honestly, after all is said and done here, Joe's put a lot of effort into that Shifting Sands play. He picked off, apparently, I thought it was 2 villagers, but he picked off 1 villager and 1 Ulfsark. And he stole an elephant. Let's not forget that he stole an elephant. That's a big deal. But all in all, Rapple's got to be kind of happy about the position he's in. He's still hunting. He's still completely fine. He didn't have to get himself watchtowers here or anything. Joe just left, and he's going to be trying to race his way to the heroic age. He's got his armory down. He's eating his pigs here, moving into the middle of the map with his villagers to get onto those zebra there. As the raiding cavalry searching around, the walls are already up on this location. Joe's gone through Nephthys at this point. You might want to consider putting a couple more villagers off of food and onto wood here to start making chariot archers. In terms of units you want to build in this matchup, generally speaking, axemen and chariot archers are kind of it. Don't really want to make spearmen. Don't really want to make cavalry. Kind of want to make elephants, but I don't know. And we'll see how things are going to go as the raiding cavalry here retreating back, and still no advance here for Rapple. He's still seemingly building some units here. Walls coming up. There's the advance. I thought he had low resources for not having as much stuff. There's Skadi coming through now for Rapple. We have seen this from Rapple before. Rapple is more than happy to play this matchup on the defensive side of things to start this one off. Give the gold mines over to Joe. Give the map control to some degree over to Joe because he knows he's going to have a hill fort. He knows he's going to be able to have a like access to Huskull and Jarls here. He's going to be completely fine where that's concerned. As the Migdol stronghold Going to be coming up on this position here for Joe. Shadoof on the way as well for Joe. We all know what I feel about Shadoof. I don't think that Joe should be ever thinking about building farms here with Set. Ever. Literally ever. That's the new Set. The new Set does not build farms. But Joe, he is, I would say he's a touch behind on modern Set theory. Whether or not modern Set theory is actually good or not. But we'll have to wait and see. As the Frost Giant wandering forward here. Rapple, where is he going to be placing his Hill Fort up onto this location here? The one thing that Rapple does need to be careful about here is that his town center over here is definitely open for season here for Joe to come forward and grab. The Migdol Stronghold's already up. Siege works coming through here as well. Joe can get himself a fairly early Chariot Archer upgrade if he so chooses. Plenty of resources in the bank here. He's a little bit short. I mean, he's still got food in his base here. Plenty of food in his base, actually, with the giraffes and the elephant and everything else here. As Joe's going to be retreating back. There's the Siege Works is up now as well for Joe. It's the town center coming up on this position. And what will Joe be able to do? Plenty of resources in the bank here. Third town center coming up. In all honesty, Joe's fairly comfortable playing any of the Egyptians kind of late game. But that being said, I mean, everything being equal here, Rapple's got to be pretty happy. He's got himself his hill fort on this gold mine. I wouldn't mind seeing a wall here either, and a wall here, just defending that gold mine completely, making sure that no raids come through. Because Joe here, he's chucking up his market in the corner here. But another hill fort means that Rapple can push forward, potentially frost this army, completely take it out, and maybe even give himself, get himself this town center here to be in a good position. Because Joe at this point, 110 or 145 population, a little bit slow on the growth here. He probably should be at full population here, but he's decided to not go mass Chariot Archers for some reason here. As a Spearman does get taken out on that position there. Scorpion Man getting taken out on that location as Joe gets a little bit caught out here as Rapple. I mean, his economy is so good here right now. Hand axe, pickaxe, plow coming through. He's got the farms. He'll be able to get himself some solid upgrades here as the units do decide to turn around here, but there's no axemen in this army here for Joe. Joe needs axemen here. And he needs axemen like yesterday as he's retreating away. He's losing a lot of HP on this retreat here. Now Rapple's going to be able to get himself this town center. Winter Harvest coming through as well. As the Huskarl pushing in onto this location. And we do indeed see Forest Fire and Frost getting utilized here, as this is something Rapple loves doing. Early Frost here. Get him an advantage. Gets himself an advantage in the army because he's able to take all the units out. Give himself a big advantage economically. We see the town center coming up on the back here just with a handful of units. This is going to be vitally important here for Rapple here, as we do see the minions coming through. How many Hursa are in? We've got 2 Hursa plus a Frost Giant here as the army going to be able to turn around. We do have the Jarls in as well as the Huskarl coming in to push those Chariot Archers back. We do have the Axemen able to take out some of these units as well. As Ancestors, honestly, compared to Frost, not that good at all here, ladies and gentlemen. But Joe's at 74 villages, Rapple's at 62, so Joe's definitely got an economic advantage to some degree here in this game, as Rapple's Frost is going to finish up here. He's still trying to push through on this location, still sitting at a solid 130 population. Joe's still at 140, 145 population, so completely fine here, as he's getting himself medium axemen, trying to get his upgrades up, retreating back. So he could get himself heavy chariots or fortified town centers here as an option if he wants to. But at this point now, Rapple's going to be able to get himself his town center. Look at this in his main base. He's got himself Winter Harvest, Plow, everything else there. He's also in the middle here hunting some animals, which is really, really helpful. Meanwhile, Chariot Archers coming onto this position, going to be looking for some raids here. Rappel's out of his base here. The gold villagers here not defended, as we'll see if Rappel can get over there and defend this location, but he will start losing a handful of villagers here. Irrigation on the way here for Rappel. I don't think Rappel should be too concerned with losing a handful of villagers. The Chariot Archer is going to get caught out of position a little bit here as the walls tried to get built up here, but now Joe going to be looking to put pressure onto that location there as well. And now Joe has to pull back. Rappel pulling him ahead here in terms of score. He's going to be looking to put that market in the very corner of the map here as he's pulling back into his, in under his gold mine here. No defenses on this gold mine though. So this is a little bit dangerous here for Rappel. Rappel here, heavy infantry coming in as he's spending all of his resources. Horus on the way though for Joe. This is dangerous. This is dangerous for Rappel because Horus kills a town center. Getting the town center back is very, very tough. The priests are out for Joe. Does Joe have himself funeral rites? No funeral rites, but that's still going to be a huge amount of damage here as the Frost Giants do fall. Funeral rites coming through now. Heavy cavalry coming in for Rappel as he wants every bit of of military upgrades that he can get. He's also got the copper shields here as well. Joe, on the other hand, no armor upgrades at this point. So those axemen getting dealt with relatively easily here as the Huskarl trying to get in onto those heavy chariots as they will be retreating back. Fortified town centers just about in for Rappel. He's going to be putting down a hill fort on this position. Walls coming up all over the place here for Joe. This is what makes Joe so good at this game. And Rappel, he really needs to be trying to do something very similar here, or should have been doing something very similar a little bit earlier in this game, is getting those walls up over here with just like one Ulfsark, putting walls up, defending, taking those locations in. Joe putting walls up on every single little bit of his choke points over there to prevent any sort of side builds coming his way as the hill fort trying to come up onto this position. Heavy axemen coming through. Horus on the way at 80% here. Rappel still kind of stuck in the heroic age for a little bit here as he spent all of the resources on his heavy infantry and heavy cavalry. He probably could have gone Mythic Age here without those upgrades. Would he have been able to hold on is the big question. Meanwhile, over on this position, more longhouses coming in. Fortified town centers is in, but no masons just yet. You need masons and you need fortified town centers to survive a tornado. Masons coming in at this point. Will it be in time to stop Tornado from taking a town center down? He needs to start putting longhouses around these town centers as well, as we are now starting to see the walls coming in. Nice play from Rappel to get that sorted out, but Copper Mail flood control coming in for Joe as well, so his farms are going to start working out for him nicely. The myth units coming in with the Avenger, the Rhinoceros have set. Rappel manages to get himself that Masons in as well. He's going to be pulling back for the time being, trying to sit underneath his hill fort here. He's got his market up in the corner. Plenty of food income for the time being as some barracks are coming in here as well. And we will be seeing the tornado being utilized on the hill fort here. And I mean, it should kill the hill fort. The villagers pulling off of that gold mine for the time being. A bit of a surprise here from Joe to use that one. It makes some sense because if Joe can get a gold staff at this moment here, he will simply put just win the game. But Rappel at this point takes the fight. His Jarls very, very strong in this fight at the moment here against the Axemen, against the heavy chariots. He's still got 2 hill forts to produce those Jarls at the moment, but he's not able to win that fight just yet. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get himself upgrades for his mail armor here, but at this point has to pull back, still has to bide his time. Rhyme coming through here as every upgrade for Rappel matters. Joe also, bronze mail is going to be huge for him. Siege shaft mine coming in as well as the Axemen starting to push forward, starting to look for something here as more longhouses coming up around the town center at this point as well as the Jarls coming through. He's got so many at this point, but are they enough? They technically should be. You have to expect Jarls to be able to beat Axemen is the general consensus. We do see the chariots retreating back. The big weakness here, though, for actually, honestly, Joe's priest here after the Frost Giant falls, not going to be that useful. We'll see if Rappel can start winning these fights. I think that Joe, he needs to start moving away from the Axemen, and he is doing that, going into medium Spearmen here, which means that then Rappel has to start thinking, well, do I build throwing Axemen or do I keep going Cavalry? I mean, at this point, doesn't matter too much. We do see the villagers moving forward, trying to get onto this gold mine, but the walls are already up here. Rappel going to be disappointed about that one. He's got a gold mine over here and a gold mine over here. It would be a great idea for Rappel to try and get in onto this position here. He can sneak through here. There's a little crack in Joe's walls, which he can definitely get through onto. Copper Mail coming through as now Rappel has decided to click up through Balder. Balder against this many walls, I don't think that a Ragnarok is going to be a great idea here for Rappel. Whether or not he's going to click Ragnarok or not remains the question that needs to be answered. The unit's still coming through here. We do see some walls coming in onto this position and some Ulfsarks coming through to try and stop this one. He doesn't want to be allowing this for the time being as Joe retreats back. We do see some chariots coming down to the bottom side of the map as the cavalry trying to deal with the infantry of Joe here. Joe going to have to retreat back, but he does get the chariot archers onto this position to get some raids in. Guard towers coming through for Joe as well. He's keeping his resources very, very low, spending them beautifully, but you'd have to ask the question, isn't Rappel just trading nicely here at the moment? Getting some battering rams out, and it looks like Rappel here, he's actually planning to go for a Ragnarok. He's actually going to click the Ragnarok straight away here. Do we see any Ox Caravans? Not really. This is very, very dangerous here. I don't think that a Ragnarok at this point in the game is going to be able to take Joe out of the game. But the question is, can Rappel do enough damage with it to then restart his economy and keep moving forward? So we do see the villagers moving in onto this location. The chariot archers getting shanked back here. Rappel's at 150 population as the spearmen coming through as the villagers all have to retreat back for the time being. And it looks to me like an immediate Ragnarok is definitely coming here as Rappel pulls back. Nope, no immediate Ragnarok. He's just saying no worries. He's got all of these rams out. 8 portable rams at the moment. Obviously, dead villagers isn't ideal, but he can just rebuild those as the Rams pushing forward to take out the siege works, trying to see exactly what's going on inside of Joe's base here. Joe with 150 population, 160 population, the spearmen pushing through onto this location here as Rappel pulls back. And he's going to start breaking through here. The fire giant in as well. These stone walls, they've got masons. There's no architects, but he's not quite able to break through them just yet. Rappel's getting himself engineers here. Villagers getting taken out as we do see the Ragnarok gets clicked. The spearmen on this location will get taken out. Rappel's got, for some reason, one villager somewhere. I'm not sure how that popped out. Maybe it got created or something as Rag came through. But the Portable Ram's going to be bashing through on this location with only Axemen and Chariot Archers here. Those Rams are going to do a lot of damage. He did get himself the Balder upgrade. Balder Rams is not in, but it doesn't really matter. There's just so many. Plus the Fire Giant here is going to do some real good damage. Unfortunately, Rappel didn't get himself out any extra Fire Giants here as the town center will get taken out. 277 population remaining. Joe's got gold mines kind of all over the map as the Ragnarok heroes come onto this position. They've gold mines over here. He's got a trade route, 14 camel caravans. Losing the town center, obviously not something that he wants to happen here, but he's got no choice but to give it up here as the Portable Rams are too strong. Rappel can sell some wood, sell some food if he so chooses to try and get this town center up for himself here. As Rappel is trying to get huge amounts of damage done. Joe's still sitting 140 of 140 population, still making more Axemen here. Bronze Mail versus Copper Mail here as well. As those Rams are still just doing, they're going to town here. They're being incredibly useful in this game. Do we see any Fire Giants here or units being created? Do we see some Portable Rams being made here, which Rappel can possibly click off of at this point as the barracks getting taken down on this position? We do see that the Rappel Rag here is pushing through to try and take out some of the camel caravans. I mean, the other thing here is if Rappel takes out all the barracks, and there's plenty of barracks placed by Joe, that means no more Axemen can be built. I mean, obviously, Joe can rebuild barracks, but it takes so long to get those barracks back up. And this is a really smart play from Rappel to slow down the production that Joe's got. Bronze weapons coming through for Joe as well, but now he's only got 1 barracks here, 2 barracks here, and no more getting created for the time being. This mercenary coming out as the Rag now dwindling, 126 or 160 population. villagers coming through here as well. I wouldn't mind seeing a trade route started. Whoa, and the siege towers come through to take the town center down. I missed that completely. So did Rapple, as Joe manages to get a huge blow to Rapple's economy here, taking that town center out after all is said and done. The portable ram still trying to break through Joe's base. Joe's at 114 population though at this moment. If Rapple can find the villagers, it won't matter that he's done this damage, as the villagers getting chasing this one away, trying to take down these siege towers. That's so many resources in siege towers here. What is it, 1,800 resources here or something like that? Is he going after the temple here to put a stop to any sort of Ragnarok follow-up? Oh, not Ragnarok follow-up. What do you call it? Fire Giant follow-up here, as the Camel Caravan still getting stopped at this position, trying to take everything else out here. We do see the town center coming up for Joe, as well as the portable rams getting pulled back. These last two siege towers will not be long for this world here, but what a play from Joe to slow down any sort of hope that Rapple had to boom out in this position and get himself back into a spot where he could potentially stay alive. His rag heroes are dwindling. He's still going after villagers underneath the town center here, trying to take out as many of them as he possibly can here as well, but not able to make it happen here. More portable rams coming out for Rapple, as he's going to have to retreat back. I'm not sure what those are going to be used for at this point, as Joe now pushes forward. Migdol Stronghold in the middle, ready to start making his way into this base of Rapple, as Rapple, he's got no resources left. He's spending everything on villages. 27 villages means he can afford 2 town centers and an ox caravan. That's about it here, honestly, as the champion Axeman coming in. I mean, one way to defend this for Rapple would have been to build himself back up the wall here and just have a handful of Ballister instead of making these portable rounds. If you could have made, like, I don't know, 12, 15, 20 Ballister just to sit in this back position here. Could have been a way forward. As the farm's getting taken out on this position, is now Joe going to be taking the town center for himself. We do see a stray longhouses that Rapple has placed here, but Joe is not going to be allowing Rapple back into this game too easily. Sons of Slipnir coming through for Rapple here as an attempt. Where is that upgrade? It gives bonus against archers and throwing axemen, so he will be able to take out those chariot archers relatively easily. But the town center is up for Joe, and Rapple retreats back, trying to get himself all of his units back out. Never give up, never surrender. He is managing to catch up on the villager count as the game is going on, but Joe's 4 town centers now. He's got a strong army here. 76 villagers, 11 camel caravans. The only thing that is really missing here to make his army incredibly scary is champion chariots. As we see some more raiders coming through here, trying to get more damage done. Siege towers rolling in, try and take out the hill fort on this position. As Rapple comes in to try and take out the siege towers and stop himself from completely from having 0 chance back at this game. Another thing that Joe can do here, which he hasn't quite realized, he's got full access to the trade route, so he can sneak in and stop that trade route as well. We see the chariot archers moving down onto this position, and they will not only, he doesn't really even need to send villagers, he can just send the chariot archers there, but the raiding cavalry are in hot pursuit there. As Joe's axemen have also got themselves Axe of Vengeance, the Horus unique upgrade, which allows them to do double damage versus buildings, which allows them to clean the buildings up incredibly fast here. As Joe's at full population, taking everything out, to be able to clean up all of these Rapple units. Rapple's down to 120 total population. He needs houses at this point. Rapple's getting out his units, but Mercenary now coming in here as well. Joe says, I've just got so many resources. Let me just spam some mercs at you from the Ford Town Center that I'm controlling here. There's the siege tower coming through to try and take out the town center on this position. I mean, it looks like Rapple's town center. The villagers coming in to shack down It's not going to be enough. The villagers pop out. Might be able to take down the siege tower here, but plenty of Axe of Vengeance Axemen to finish this one off. And that means the trade route is stopped. Temple coming up over here for Rapple, and in that moment, Rapple does decide to tap out. GG, well played by Joe. Gets that early game advantage with the Shifting Sands. Honestly, I don't think it was that big of an advantage. Rapple probably dealt with it as best as she possibly can. And in the advantage that Joe gets by killing a villager, in all honesty, if Joe just goes for a town center early at the 402 mark, rather than when he gets it up, he probably comes out with more villagers and more of an advantage than he would have otherwise. Obviously, the cheese is there to try and kill us a couple of extra villagers that is supposed to give you more of an advantage than just rushing a town center up. But that was a really nice play there in the start from Joe, and solid. Honestly, this is what makes Joe so good. The walls just everywhere on the map, controlling the map beautifully here. And in doing this, he's just able to prevent Rapple from doing anything that he wants to. And what Rapple needs to learn from this game is that he needs to do this as well. Because here's the thing. Rapple, going for this fast heroic, he's got all of this time that his army, his infantry units are just going to sit there idly by. He doesn't need to defend anything. He knows his opponent is just kind of doing his thing, and he can just put his walls up, control the map, control his corner, even maybe prevent Joe from controlling his own corner. He can potentially prevent some of this problems that he's having where he needs to click Ragnarok where he otherwise wouldn't want to. But beautiful game here from Joe. Great start to the series. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. See you guys in the next game.